I'm Marky Martin. Thanks for waking up with us, as always. So brand new polling just in this morning shows where American voters stand now on control of Congress this year and potential White House matchups in 2028. In this brand new Emerson College poll, more than half of Americans surveyed says they would pick Democrats in a generic congressional ballot, leading over Republicans by almost 8 points there. Both sides fighting tooth and nail to sway those undecided voters in state and federal elections this fall.
If Republicans have a major fault right now, they refuse to recognize the economic anxiety, right? They're following the Trump playbook of just telling people that what they're feeling is wrong. Republicans are out of touch. Democrats have an opportunity this year.
When you have a party that's led by Mandami, AOC, and Bernie Sanders, you're going to get these mini Mandamis all across the country, and people aren't going to accept that, and that's why the Republicans are going to hold both the House and the Senate, and we're going to defy history in November.
So for more on all of this, let me bring in Sophia Vento. She's the campaign editor for our partners at thehill.com. Sophia, it's good to have you this morning. This is a massive generic ballot poll, meaning we're not looking at specific candidates here. What does the poll say about where things stand as we now round the corner toward November?
Yeah, thank you for having me. The political wins are definitely blowing in Democrats' favor. Obviously, there's the the historic tradition of the party in power having a little bit of a uphill battle of keeping the majority in Congress. But Trump's sour approval ratings paired with anxieties about the economy and the ongoing war in Iran have definitely taken hold in the electorate, and Democrats definitely have the upper hand going in. We've seen polls ranging from 4% to 8% today to even 11%. So we'll definitely see if Democrats are able to pull it off, but the odds are definitely in their favor right now.
Yeah, definitely have the edge here. This poll also offered some clues about why Democratic Socialist and progressive candidates have had so much success this year. This was interesting. 23% of voters say they support the DSA, and that's approaching similar numbers that the Tea Party had back in 2010. Do you think that Washington is underestimating how popular this movement is right now?
So to an extent, I mean, we've seen some of these really high profile wins, and especially obviously specifically with the Democratic electorate, the energy definitely seems to be on the side of the left flank. Might that be Democratic Socialist candidates or progressives? And I think the biggest thing to note here is the popularity of DSA specifically. The stat was about supporting DSA. This does not mean people are, card-carrying members of the organization. But the popularity is really on the side of folks on the younger side of the electorate, specifically under 50. And I mean, if the trends continue, we will only see the momentum grow on that side.
Yeah. And the poll also dug into President Trump's approval rating. 56%, let me see here, 56% say they disapprove of the job that President Trump is doing, including 66% of independents, Sophia. What's more interesting, though, is that men are totally split on Trump, with 48% each approving and disapproving of the job that he's done. And as you know, Republicans have leaned heavily on, manosphere influencers to help build support here in recent years. What do you think this means for the midterms if Republicans aren't popular with the majority of male voters?
It's a tough spot to be in. I mean, of course, Trump is not on the ballot, but he is obviously the kingmaker of the GOP and will be, on the trail. And as you mentioned, they've made serious inroads and serious, just solidified that support in the among men. And I think that the question is whether these people are just staying home or whether they're going to be voting for Democrats too. So it's definitely something and a stat I'll be looking out to heading into November, but it's definitely a concern, I think, for the GOP as the midterms really closely approach.
And then also part of this poll, they did have some hypothetical matchups. It shed some light on who could win the White House in 2028. To your point, it's going to be the first time in more than a decade that Trump won't appear on the ticket. But it looks like, according to these numbers, that Marco Rubio would be the heir apparent.
Yeah, he has outperformed Vance in all but one of the races, with Buttigieg besting both of them in the hypothetical matchups. The only one where we've seen Trump sort of walk that line of I like them both. So would support either of them doing that. There's been reporting in the past that Trump was sort of gunning for Vance, but it is really yet to be seen where the Republicans lie, but this polling, gives a sense of where things might be heading and, where the party could be putting their eggs in
And lastly, before I let you go, the only Democratic candidate that didn't beat Vance or Rubio in a hypothetical matchup was AOC. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I struggle to hypothesize about it, but I mean, I do think obviously she's the most progressive on the slate that was suggested. It was Buttigieg, Ossoff, Newsom, Harris, and then AOC. I think that probably has a part to do with it. And obviously, you know, she's been in the headlines a lot recently, specifically about those Democratic Socialist wins. And when you're polling a whole electorate, that might be a harder task to, you know, get those independent voters. We see the margins there of the undecideds is a little bit bigger as well. So I do think that probably has something to do with it.
Well, this entire poll was certainly fascinating. Again, it just broke 6 minutes ago. So, Sophia, I thank you for being on with me in real time to break it all down. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.